Hi, I hope you all are doing good. From now onwards, you have almost 29 days till your exam. So I thought, why not share some things with you all, right? So I have prepared scanners for all the subjects. Scanners basically, I have just merged the guideline answer and set it in the sequence of chapter wise. So it will help you to check what they have been asking in every attempt, right? So here I have also attached, as you can see in the screen, uh, tabular format marks distribution. Okay. And in December 24, I would like to highlight that they have asked a integrated case study. Like in one question, they have asked basically four questions. In June, it was not the case. So I had put the question in separate chapters, but here in December, they have asked you an integrated case where they have asked four different questions from different chapters. So that case study you'll find at the end, but from which chapter each question belongs, you can find it here. Also, in the chapter itself, like chapter 3, here I have added the table that 1B and 1D in December was from chapter 3. So here you can also see the category according to which you have to study. Along with that, I'll share certain things for you all. The sequence would be first you have to get done with your risk management, then your environment and sustainability reporting, and then you'll come to your part one. Okay. Um, in part one, you can set a sequence like this. You can note it down. First, you'll do 3, 4, 5, 10, 14, and then 9, 11, 13, 15, 16, and then 1, 2, 7, 8, 12, 17. I'm going to talk chapter wise as well that what you should skip and what you should not. Let's first get done with part 2 and part 3. Part 2 and part 3, I'd like to highlight here that from part 3, Institute is basically asking you a 7 mark or 8 mark question, right? Two questions are there, 7 or 8, if you can see here. Okay, 7 and 8 mark question. First attempt itself, it was both from chapter 19, and last attempt, it was one from each chapter. Okay. So, while preparing for these chapters, make sure that your content is good enough for a 7 8 mark question. If you write just one page, it would not suffice. Make sure that your content is at least minimum 1.5 to 2 page. You are preparing such kind of content, okay? Because I have seen a student studying from reference books and the content is summarized over there. That's what our reference books for, but you guys don't understand that that's not how you can write answers in exam, right? So this is very important part. Another part for part 2 and part 3 is, let me bring you to this part itself. Like, they have given this case studies. I think risk management would be a better place to, yeah. Yeah, see, this they have given this case study, right? This is about Beijing Olympics 2022. So, in first part from part A1, I have seen, and from part B as well, I have seen that they have asked you specifically write four instances in India where uh, this method was used, or like that. Likewise, they have actually put questions related to case study. So for part one, I would not insist you to cover that. It's not possible to do it in 30 days. Those who have already done it, they can still manage. But for those who are just now maybe doing their first revision, so for them, just do the part two and part three case studies. Not all, but the important ones. Or at least make a summary note over here that this is what this says. If suppose they are asking you can write at least the summary points. 4 5 points would be enough. Okay, answers institute will give a lot, but since out of 100 only five people are writing the case study, so that will definitely impact your evaluator. So you can definitely get great marks out of it. Okay. Now coming to part one, I have also shared this in my group that I'll share the top 100 questions or 50 questions according to me. I have marked them, but as promised, I'll only share it 10 days before exam because I don't want you to get diverted because of those important topic. Right now, your priority is to do everything, but still, I'll help you out with things. In the part one, there is a lot of international perspective asked given in the book, okay? But as per the question pattern, there is no question on international perspective, or if I might have missed, there might be one or two questions. In exam also, there'll be the same situation. They might ask you questions, but that will be only one or two cases, okay? So for that purpose, don't invest too much time. Those who are preparing now, don't invest too much time in those cases. Like, let me give you an example of chapter 3. This is chapter 3, right? No, sorry. Chapter 3. Uh, yeah, chapter 3, if you see here, after every topic, they have given you international perspective, right? You have the proxy advisory. You can skip this. This is I have prepared, but I'm not going to share this with you right now. Okay. So see that like international perspective they have given in chapter 3, there are a lot of international perspective. So those who have not prepared well, for them, it is that these topics you can either skip or you can take it lightly because I'm not saying that they are not going to ask you. Okay. They may ask you, but the chances would be only 5 to 10 marks. Preparing so much for 5 to 10 marks is of no use, okay? And along with that, international perspective, I have told you to cut down. There are certain topics of international perspective which are important for the exam point of view, which I'll share with you all, okay? Other than that, there are certain chapters from which institute have not asked question, like chapter 17, chapter 1 and 2. I am expecting that this attempt either ESG or CMADD, one of them might be tricky. My more inclination is towards CMADD, but still I'm giving you all the advices that may happen in ESG, that chapter which have not been asked, like us 1 to 17, these chapters they may ask. So for these chapter for 1 and 2, do only the question that are in old scanner, okay? Even chapter 2, I think they don't have an old syllabus that much as much you have, but still you can only manage it with the question from scanner. Don't invest your time in these two chapters. There might be a question key secretarial standard they have not asked in last attempt, why I have put it in a category. The reason being that these chapters will always be a category chapter because there are a lot of points which can be asked from these chapters, okay? And another thing, while evaluating the test paper, I came across this instance that you guys don't recollect or don't write the provision as it is. So make sure that whatever the provision are there, you should put it down accurately, okay? Because there are not too much of provision in regards to your portion. Like you barely have directors and meetings, right? So you should be thoroughly with that because you have already covered that in your executive, okay? Some of you have started working, so you should know all the basics, okay? So that is very very important. Other than that, part one, they have asked 7 and 8 mark question. Like if you see here, 7 mark question, here 8 mark question. Both the questions are from a chapter which generally students either don't focus too much or they do it in a half-hearted way. Okay, so I would suggest you one thing for chapters like this, like 7, 11, 13, 15, these kind of top chapters majorly have questions which are or topics which are sub points or pointers kind of thing. So do one thing, you have ample of time. even if you are dedicating 2 3 days particular subject, but for these chapters, what you can do is prepare your own list of subheadings and recollect it every day. You can make your mnemonics out of it, and you can revise them. This is the only way to deal with chapters which I have mentioned. Okay. And 7 mark question, even if you write correctly, you will be getting either 5 or 6. You're not going to get 7. So if you, let's suppose, write things in your own language, and it's not as per your book, so you will get very less marks. Okay. So it's very important that you focus on subheadings for certain chapters, which I have already mentioned. Now I'll highlight certain points which I have seen in papers that people have made mistakes. Okay. So, as I said, that institute has, after giving you 15 minutes time, made the question paper very, very lengthy. Okay. What happens is, both for executive and professional, I have seen that students start reading from question one. Okay. When you start reading from question one is in all the subjects and in uh, both the levels. Question one is very lengthy. It's around 2.5 page or 2 pages or 1.5 page. So it takes around 7 to 10 minutes. Then you don't have ample of time to read the entire paper. Okay. So what I will suggest you is, you should first start reading with part 2 and part 3. So you'll be clear that okay, these two parts I know very well and I can manage it, or at least you can note down the information which is needed in your answer presentation. Once you are done with those two questions, what I have seen is, in ESG, there question number 4, they give 7 and 8 marks, and there is an option in 7 and 8. So next you go to that question and figure it out whether you know that question or not. Okay. Because 1 2 3, ultimately you have to do it, right? Another thing is time allocation, which you guys don't consider while writing paper. Those who start from part 2 and part 3, they spend around 1.5 hour in that. However, that part should be done in 1 hour. Whatever I'm saying, please note it down. This is very, very important for you all. Make sure that you do at least two test papers before going to exam, because papers are very lengthy. If you go unprepared, you'll not be able to complete 100% paper. Okay. If you once you come to part 1 will have certain questions which will be 1 1 mark question that I have seen, 1 1 mark or 2 2 mark. Even in part 2, they have given you a 2 2 mark question, right? So make sure that when you are attempting a 3 mark question, you write only content up to 3 mark. Don't write big. Just because you know a lot, that doesn't mean that you will write it in 3 marks. Okay. You are supposed to only write according to the marks. Other than this, there is one problem that I have seen is, you guys, someone has written 5A, and then they have written 2B and then 5C. You should not write paper in that way. Once you have started part 1, you should complete it, then move to part 2. Okay. Another mistake is, people start writing paper with, as I said, that you start reading with question number 1, you find it difficult, you don't read, you are not able to read the entire paper. So what you do is, whatever question you find in front of you, you start writing. You are not confident in that answer, but you are still attempting, because you think, if I read the entire paper, I'll lose some time, right? So your choice of reading question is also very important. Okay. Again, second question, start your answer with the one that you are very confident. This we have been telling you from a lot of attempts. I know this is difficult in the new syllabus, but if you correct your reading pattern, this will be easy to manage. Okay. Uh, can we take a few examples? I know I'm taking a lot of time, but I really want you all to understand that reading question is really not time taking. Like, see this question, right? It is talking about audit committee, right? It is talking about subsidiaries of a listed company, right? So you got a basic idea that this is about 177. If you read this question right now, spending 10 minutes, once you come back to write this answer again, maybe half an hour, or maybe after you're getting your answer sheet and all, you'll still spend 2 3 minutes again to read this question. So that is not suggestible. Better go with in 15 minutes, just go with figuring out what topic they have targeted, and if you are through with that topic, through with the chapter, then mark these questions, and while writing your answers, start with those questions. Anything else that I need to quote? Okay, those who are writing both group, I would recommend that you prepare one group properly and go for the other one in a lighter way. Okay, if you are not sure for both, if you are prepared very well for one already, then any one group, then you're good to go. But if you are not prepared for both, then don't mess it up, because if you prepare strategically from right now, you'll be able to handle things. But if you try to take a decision 10 days before exams, you'll mess it up everything. Okay, so spend 70% of your time in making one group strong, and the rest of the 30% in another group, so that if luck favors, you can clear both the group. Okay, and divide your time in 2:1 ratio, that is 20 days and 10 days, and accordingly appear for exam. Also, I'll share the list 10 days before exam, so you can skip on C category chapters if you want. As of now, not all the C category chapters, but lengthy one like chapter 1, chapter 2, and you can only prepare the important question that I'll be giving you for these chapters. Okay, rest of the A categories chapter, you should do all the topics from now except chapter 3, international perspective, that you can just go through. Also, please make sure that you do cover these things, this case study, for at least important chapters. Okay, like A category chapters in part A. Let me show you, because I have seen questions regarding them. Even chapter, I think this chapter has a lot of international perspective. That's why I said ki skip kar do, because hardly 5 marks they will ask. You have to take that kind of risk, because even if you learn it, you will not be able to recollect it as you are expecting. So why not invest that time in some other paper and get more marks out of it? Okay, I think I have already shared with you all in part B. Thought if I can find a case. Yeah, this chapter, skip this thing. Okay, governance structure. No need to do this. This is chapter 7. But read this. So if they are asking, you know uh, how to explain it, right? Because here they have actually put it everything in words, what it is given in chart. Well, I'm not getting any case study. Yeah, here I have marked exceptions. Okay, when you are reading the question, please be very careful. They have quoted it public company, listed company, or government company. Private companies have exemptions, government companies have exemptions. Listed company has to follow ICDR, LODR compliances. So make sure that if you are reading question, you are reading it correctly. Generally, they ask listed company only. So that data governments में तो नहीं मिलेगा. Anyways, whatever I showed you in the previous part 2, that case study thing, go of do all the case studies for A category chapters of part 1, but not learning, just reading. So if they have asked you in exam, you can write it. Also, if there is any case law, I know you would not be able to learn it, but make sure that at least you know the result of the case, the outcome of the case, so if they ask you any question based on that case, you can quote it as per the relevant case, this was the decided judgment, so according to the judgment, this shall be the conclusion. So at least you'll score certain marks. Okay, so I hope all the instructions will help you, and I'll share this PDF with you all so you can also analyze and see what kind of questions they have asked. And similarly, I'll say for other subjects as well, my insights as well as other things.